Hi, this is Danny Hester, Mr. Olympia Classic Division 2016, soon to be 2017, if all goes well. Here at the Mecca, training with my boy Mickey Rourke. We're going to get a good workout in and hopefully you get motivated. Yeah, if it wasn't for Mickey Rourke, I'd probably show up at the gym probably half the time and a lot later. So he's definitely keeping me on point, keeping me dedicated, got to show up. Because usually I train by myself, so it's really nice to have a training partner, especially, when you're getting close to the show, having someone push you and having another set of eyes on you. So Sergi, great guy, incredible physique, big fan of his, and luckily he's a big fan of mine. We've kind of been working with each other with the posing. He looks on point, and I'm really happy and excited. Most guys with the really high Instagram following usually don't put, their egos on the line, but I'm really proud of Sergi. He's willing to step up and do the Olympia. So I think he's going to do really well. Yeah, so, Flex is a really good friend of mine. I was more than happy and excited that he was going to do the Classic Division. He's going to bring so much attention and notoriety to the sport. Flex is a legend. I've always said he's the uncrowned Mr. Olympia, so I really hope he brings it. Unfortunately, I didn't really get a chance to train with him and hang out with him too much before this Olympia. That would have been really cool, just like in the old days. But I'm sure he's doing his thing. He needs to do what he has to do. And I just want him to be coming in as best as he can so these young guys really understand. I read some of the social media stuff, and I just find it really upsetting to me how disrespectful a lot of people are. Flex is one of the best that ever stood on stage. So for him to come in and risk his whole reputation, he's not going to bring anything but the best. So I want to really be proud of him. And the age difference, to me, it really doesn't matter. It's how you take care of yourself. There's guys that are young that look like they're 60 years old. So it's about who brings the best package on stage. And I hope, the younger guys learn to take their time, and the older guys learn to take their time and not push it. It's not about the trophy. It's about the journey, and that's what we'll have to realize. And this year I'm enjoying it a lot more. Maybe because I already won it, before, and I won the first one, which is the most important. But it really is about the journey. That's why I appreciate, good friends being in my corner like Mickey Rourke and a lot of guys out in Gold's Gym. And it just makes it memorable, I don't even remember, winning my Olympia last year, but I really remember, having my parents, my mom come and my family and everything. And to me, that's the most important thing. My opinion on the weight classes as far as not having, making a weight for height ratio, it's just not realistic. It's stupid. Unless you take the brains of the judges and you put them back to 1980s, they've already seen the craziness, the freak show. So you can't put the genie back in the bottle. So there's no way they can have a Classic Division without having weight ratios for the height. So unfortunately, that's how it is, and I think it's a good thing. And I'd like to actually see a weight ratio on the other divisions too, to be honest with you, even in men's physique, because a lot of those guys are pretty big, and they don't even show their legs. That's the thing. And some of them have pretty good weight on the scale. I think most of them are probably going to cross over. I just see that as the future. A lot of these guys have great physiques, and it's just not doing justice. They're not even able to pose. I'd like to actually see them have a few poses, the classic poses with the men's physique. I think Classic Physique is a good name for maybe the newer generation, but for me, I've always been a bodybuilder, true bodybuilder, old school. So the name bodybuilding, the word really, for me, just encompasses everything about the sport. Physique, I'm not too sure about what that would be if someone was to tell me, oh, you're a physique competitor. I'm not sure if that's CrossFit or, whatever that Super League is. But bodybuilding is bodybuilding. You can't make a mistake when you say classic bodybuilding. You know exactly what it is. So I would like to see that name change back to classic bodybuilding. Compared to last year's and this year's prep, and the things I've done, it's a little bit different because I've been lean pretty much all year. So it was interesting to see how my body reacted. I actually am growing into the show this year rather than coming down last year. And I think that's probably the case for most people. Since last year was the first one, a lot of guys had to come down, and it was really tough making the weight. And they gave us an extra 5 pounds this year. So for me, I know I brought up my arms quite a bit, and that was one of the things that really bothered me. I think because I did a lot of high volume sports like boxing and mixed martial arts, I think it really thinned out my arms a little bit. So this year I didn't really do much of that, and just focused on really concentrating on those arms and getting them a lot bigger. And I think they really came up quite a bit, so it's going to show. That and my hamstrings and just a little bit tighter waist this time, make sure I'm not going to eat too close to the show. Last time I had to trying to carb up and try to get big, not quite knowing what they wanted. So this year it's all about balance, really smooth, clean lines, and bigger arms. Never go wrong with bigger arms. Yeah, unfortunate deaths of 2 people that I knew. I had the opportunity to, to meet them and get to know them a little bit. It's just such a tragedy, There's really no need for that. Unfortunately, we're our own worst critic, and you just got to listen to yourself as far as pace yourself. And it's not about the size, it's about the quality, and it's about the personality also that's going to make a true champion. Well, I think I am a nice guy to a certain degree until someone disrespects me. But so far, I really appreciate the camaraderie that's happening in this division. You get a lot of fans and stuff from other people coming on, and I could tell the difference as it gets closer to the show. Definitely a lot of haters from other people's fan bases, which is, and if you're a fan of mine and you're dissing other opponents that I'm competing against, I don't want you as a fan, just to let you know that. So I want to make that clear that I don't take it personal, but it does get a little bit irritating, when a lot of the other fans come on your page and start disrespecting you, and I'm just happy that in person that the other competitors, everybody seems to be like, very respectful and stand up, and I think everybody wants this division to do well. I've always said, if I don't get it this year, I'm gonna get it again before I'm done. I'm only improving. I'm very excited to see exactly when I'm finished what my body's gonna look like, and it's still progressing, and I like being the underdog to a certain degree. So, definitely whoever wins, if I don't win this year, I wish them the best, and it's about representing the sport well. And there's a lot of guys out there that I think are be good ambassadors for the sport, and they definitely deserve a Mr. Olympia title too. If not now, keep it up, keep the respect and the camaraderie going, and represent the sport like I'm trying to do. Yeah, to a certain degree, Phil is definitely very consistent to a certain degree. There's been a couple times he slipped a little bit, but I think he's so ahead of the game to a certain degree, that the other guys are always trying to catch up. Even if he slips a little bit, he can afford to, because he's that good. I like to see the other divisions do well. Obviously Flex Lewis, he's won a few times. Jeremy Bondias won a few times. So maybe I'll keep that. I'll keep that for a few more times too, and just be like the rest of the other guys. But if not, it's nice to have other people represent the sport that that could be good ambassadors. Yeah, I definitely don't wish that I would have reached this elite level this as far as back when I was younger. I just think I wouldn't have appreciated it, and I'd probably already be burnt out on the sport. I've got to do what I've done in all divisions, all areas of fitness. I've done supplements to workout equipment. I've designed, training elite athletes. And so for me, it gave me a lot of time to grow as a person and also as an athlete. And I just feel that these days, it's all about how you take care of yourself. And that's what, I really want to emphasize on with the younger guys or even the older guys. It's about take your time. It's about just getting yourself physically the best you can, the safest way. Think of the long game, and it's about being happy with the sport. And sometimes if you push too hard, you get burnt out. I just hate to see a lot of guys with potential get burned out, because this should be a lifelong endeavor. Obviously the top guys, in that placed in the top 5, and then there's a few other guys that are really good. I think, I don't even know where to start. I'm sure there's going to be some guys that were sleepers that are really going to come up. I see a lot of potential out there, so I wish them the best. And like I say, I want to lose to everyone's best and my best, and I want to win to everyone's best and my best. And that's what really what it's about. I don't want to have a win when everybody's looking like crap. I want everyone to look the best, because that's just, we're going to all push each other to get that much better. There's definitely a lot of new names, guys that look really good on Instagram, social media. But once again, it's really hard to tell. I thought I was wondering how I was going to beat those guys last year when I was looking at social media. So you really don't know until you get a physique next to you on stage is really when you find out. Because, you know, alone people, I was just talking to Sean Ray this morning, we were saying the same thing as far as some people thought he could be Mr. Olympia until he stood next to some of the other guys that were a little bit bigger, you know, and it was just a contrast. So you never know until you're next to the person on stage. Pretty much what I've seen, I have the most complete physique. I just have to really concentrate on bringing the conditioning like I did last year, and I think bringing up just certain clean lines, the waist a little bit smaller, and bring up my arms. It's going to be tough to beat. You know, there's a couple guys out there that have most of everything, but not quite everything. You know, for me, it's about the complete balance and the complete flow. And of course, if Flex looks anything 70% of what he did, to me, that should be Mr. Olympia also. I think because it is classic physique, classic bodybuilding, that says it all right there. You know, it's got all the aspects of what bodybuilding is supposed to be about, what I got into the sport for. And, you know, everything is nostalgic. You know, things come out back around. And I think classic bodybuilding to the youth, the younger people now, is very attractive. And that's what got me in the sport. So I can definitely see why this is probably one of the most exciting divisions, and that we're on the main stage this year. So I'm really happy, and I thank, you know, Robin Chang and the Olympia, Jim Mannion, and everybody for putting on this division, because it's a godsend. It really is. It's gave me so much more passion for the sport and respect it now again.